Good morning, Facebook. Thank you for joining us on this Facebook Live. I'm Kwon. Don't forget, before we get started here, you can always watch this later throughout the day on our InForum YouTube channel. Go subscribe to that if you haven't yet. We also, of course, you can find us on your favorite podcast platform, whether that be Spotify, Apple Music, or Apple Podcasts, I should say. And then you can also find us on inforum.com/podcasts, and then just click on the InForum Minute as well. All right, before we get started with everything, at least, your top headlines of this morning, I wanted to let you know about an update to our breaking news that we were following. If you're not familiar with this, which makes sense, I guess, because it literally came in at 7 this morning, so just about an hour ago. But Fargo Police and the Red River Valley SWAT team were conducting a high-risk search warrant at a home just in the area of the 5200 block of Amber Valley Parkway. So think kind of by the Sanford Medical Center there. So here's the update. We know that 4 people are detained, and our photographer on scene asked some, Fargo police officers if they're looking for anyone else at this time. Their response to that was they are not looking for anyone else at this time. So wanted to relay that information to you. Of course, these high-risk search warrants, we've kind of been talking about these very often. And in fact, I actually just checked and we found that Fargo police have conducted about 3 high-risk search warrants over the course of the last month. So I guess that kind of does raise some questions this morning too, as to, is there some sort of operation going on? Those are all answers that we're trying to find out for you. But yeah, the update this morning, 4 people detained at a home in that 5200 block of Amber Valley Parkway in Fargo. We will be sure to let you know what comes out of that this morning. And, of course, you can find those updates during our evening newscasts as well. All right, we know that one person is dead, and a Minnesota woman has been arrested. She's in the Beltrami County Jail right now, as deputies say that she had lit a camper on fire while the person was inside. This happened along Allens Bay Drive Southeast, right near Cass Lake at around 7 o'clock on Tuesday night. And once these firefighters put out the fire at the trailer, they found human remains inside, which is why they found that this fire was set on purpose. So we know that deputies arrested 34-year-old Cora Quaderer of Bena, Minnesota, and the body found in the camper has been sent to the Midwest Medical Examiner's office in Ramsey. We also know right now new cases of avian flu are shutting down poultry and bird events in North Dakota again. This was a huge talker throughout the summer, if you remember. And the State Department of Ag says that the virus was found in a backyard flock in Cass County. And this is the first new case, again, reported since June. So really, it's been a long time since we've seen any of these cases again. Bird-based events are banned until the state sees 30 days with absolutely no bird cases reported, or bird flu cases reported. And then we wanted to check on the situation in Minnesota as well. It also reported its first new cases since May, and that one was in 128,000 birds were affected in Meeker County, which is just north of St. Cloud. So wanted to let you know that right now in North Dakota, all poultry events are shut down and banned once again. Okay, and we know right now that a family on the Spirit Lake Reservation is really searching for answers. They want to know if the death of a toddler was an accident or if it was a crime. And we learned from these grandparents of a 3-year-old, Ariana McKay. She died after she swallowed an entire bottle of adult Tylenol. So at the time, we know Ariana was staying with some relatives, and her grandparents said that those people live in a dangerous home. And her grandpa is also saying that someone should be facing charges for allowing this to happen, for allowing Ariana to swallow and ingest that adult Tylenol, the entire bottle, right? So we know that the grandpa has spoke with Child Protective Services at Spirit Lake. WDAY, we did reach out to them and see if any actions have been taken or will be taken. They have not answered our calls. So we will definitely keep you updated on that and let you know if Child Protective Services at Spirit Lake responds to our request. We also are expecting to learn soon what led up to that triple murder-suicide in Towner County, North Dakota. Of course, right now, medical examiners are still performing autopsies on the 4 bodies, but we do know their names this morning. So Doug Dulmage, we told you about him on First News yesterday. He was one of the men killed. There's three workers, Justin, Richard, and Robert Bracken. So Robert and Richard were brothers. Justin is Robert's son. And this, we heard from North Dakota State Farm Bureau president this morning, and he was saying even for people who didn't know him, this is a really, really big blow to the agriculture community. So really, really sad stuff, and of course we'll let you know what led up to all of this once we get those autopsy results back. Also, right now we know, Native Americans across the region are mourning after dozens of ancestral remains were found across UND's campus. So President Andrew Armacost is saying that the first of the remains were actually found back in March. And since then, about 200 boxes of sacred objects like ceremonial pipes were found along with the remains of 70 ancestors. So right now, the university is trying to identify those objects, and they're also trying to return them to the more than 13 tribal nations in the state. And we did ask, where these were found. Armacost did not want to say which building the items were found in or where they were being stored. And we also know that UND is offering counseling services to students who are grieving right now. All right. Today there's a lane closure, and it could impact drivers in West Fargo. So eastbound lane of 13th Avenue will be closed from 3rd to 6th Street East, just right near the Heritage Square there. So we know that crews are going to be getting ready for some underground repairs for Phase 2 of the Northside Regional Sanitary Sewer Rehabilitation Project. Kind of a mouthful there. But everything should be back open, back to normal by tomorrow. So really just a all-day type of project. And then in Grand Forks, 47th Avenue South will also be closed from Belmont Road to River Oaks Circle. It's only going to be closed from 9 in the morning to 2:30 in the afternoon. And it's going to be in place tomorrow, next Tuesday, and next Wednesday, which is kind of weird. It's split up a little bit. We know that crews are going to be disassembling the concrete paver used for the Belmont reconstruction project, so they're going to need some time to do that in phases there. Also starting today, North Dakota drivers expect to see some extra patrols out on the roads for the start of a Vision Zero campaign that aims to reduce distracted driving. So they're going to be enforcing this campaign for the entire month of September. Hey, happy September, by the way, guys. We know that during April's enforcement period, 151 citations were issued for distracted driving. Guys, again, a really common way, of distracted driving is texting. So make sure those phones are tucked away, especially with these extra patrols. You shouldn't have them out anyway, but, just be careful. And then, again, a citation for distracted driving is going to cost you $100. So be careful and drive safe. All right, also right now there's a major road construction project in Mahnomen County that is taking a little bit longer to finish than expected. So the Twin Lakes Creek Bridge on Highway 200 is now going to be closed until the end of October. And the reason being is because of a delay in materials. It's considered impassable right now. Highway 200 will also be closed between Mahnomen and Roy Lake Road. So of course drivers, you're going to be detoured around that project. Keep in mind, though, this is the second delay for this project. The start of it was delayed by a few weeks because of spring flooding. So, for drivers in that area, a little bit longer of a headache that you'll be dealing with. Okay, this is also really neat. We know that a new option for chemotherapy for families impacted by cancer is now available in Minnesota, Lakes Country. And it's going to be helping, of course, to cut down on drive time and those really expensive gas prices, which hopefully they keep on falling. But Purim Health Nelson Therapy Center is where that new chemo infusion center is open. So it's in partnership with the Roger Maris Cancer Center. And this new center is going to have 2 chairs for chemo. It actually already does. They have plans to add even more in the near future. And this, of course, again, guys, is going to really help cut down on travel time for a lot of families impacted by cancer, because typically patients who are taking chemotherapy or undergoing chemotherapy need to do several rounds of it within a week. So it should help save a lot of time for families in Lakes Country area. So positive news there. All right, talking more on a national level of things, we know that a judge in Florida today is going to be hearing the first arguments on whether a third-party attorney should review the documents that have been found in former President Donald Trump's home in Mar-a-Lago. And this all comes as he responded to the Justice Department's accusations that members of his team tried to hide these documents from investigators. Well, Trump argues back that classified materials should have been expected in those found records, and then that investigators shouldn't have worried about them in the first place. So, of course, we're going to be following that hearing all day long, and we'll let you know what comes out of that. Also, right now, we know that progress is being made in Jackson, Mississippi in its water crisis, but that doesn't mean people can just drink the water normally again, as they are still under boil orders this morning. So we know that a new emergency rental pump is slowly improving the water pressure, but it's still less than half of what it should be. So that new pump is going to help push an extra 4 million gallons of water through the facility there. Jackson's mayor is saying you can still take showers, wash your hands, you can do those things, but you cannot drink that water right now unless you boil it first. So positive news, positive update when it comes to the water crisis in Jackson, Mississippi, thinking of everyone there. Right now, the FDA and the CDC are urging you to get your COVID booster shots because they're warning about a higher risk of infection this fall. Now, this does fall in line with the World Health Organization's recommendation as well, saying that they're also expecting a surge in not only COVID cases, but also flu cases as the weather turns colder. So the FDA's commissioner says that only about half of eligible Americans have gotten their first booster, and the CDC also pointed out that Americans who are up to date on their COVID vaccines cut their risk of dying 13-fold compared to the unvaccinated. With that, today, we know that the CDC's vaccine advisors are expected to vote on Moderna's and Pfizer's updated COVID boosters. So the advisors are going to be discussing those boosters before voting whether to recommend the boosters. We know Pfizer's booster was already authorized by the FDA for people ages 12 and older. Moderna's, the same goes there. That one is for people ages 18 and older. Again, these shots are supposed to protect against the original COVID strain and then the newest subvariants as well. And these two boosters could be available by the end of the week if this vote passes. It's very likely that they are going to pass it, so we'll keep you updated on that. Major airlines are tweaking their protocol for when passengers can get meal and hotel vouchers if a flight is delayed or canceled. So airlines like American, United, Southwest, they all rolled out their changes this week with new policies. So with United, it's now offering meal vouchers for flights delayed more than 3 hours. Southwest and American Airlines are offering hotel rooms for travelers who need to wait overnight, as long as those cancellations are not caused by something beyond the airline's control. So wanted to give you guys a heads up. I know travel season is right here, literally this weekend, and then more travel opportunities there. So wanted to let you guys know. Okay, Hot Mic with Izzo, 9 to 11, WDAY Extra, InForum.com. Today's Thursday, but today's also a really exciting day. It is the Bison block party, so that's going to be held at Shields. Are you going on right now?
Probably. I gotta wait to see if she tosses or not.
That's totally okay. So if you guys didn't know, I'm in studio right now, and Lydia has a cut-in that she does. So if she goes live, we're going to have to shush, but we're going to keep going until she starts talking.
She's got a package first.
Oh, she's got a package first. Okay, sounds good. So we'll continue talking about Hot Mic. So yeah, I mean, Bison Block Party, of course, it's a really big talker. Again, Bison Game Day on Saturday, going to be a really big day. But yeah, you know, it's going to be packed with hundreds of Bison fans at the Shields right off of 45th. Things are going to be kicking off right around 6 with a pep rally led by head coach Matt Entz. And WDAY will also be there to give you some live looks out from Shields. So make sure you go join our 6 o'clock newscast tonight on WDAY. Again, Hot Mic at 9 to 11, WDAY Extra, InForum.com. And on InForum.com right now, we got a headline to share with you. Fargo City Commissioners consider options for pedestrian bridge near City Hall. Lisa did a really great job breaking this down for us this morning. Goes over all the options. The ones that really stand out to these commissioners and the ones that they're not really so much in favor of. So that's on our website, InForum.com. And don't forget, you can get $4.99 a month for your first 3 months in all access pass to InForum.com by going to InForum.com/subscribe. Did you guys get all of that? I hope so. All right, everybody, we have news at 4, 5, 6, 9, and 10. Don't forget our 6 o'clock newscast. We will have some live looks out from Shields for the Bison block party. All right, everybody, have a great day. We will see you back here tomorrow morning from 5 to 7. Bye.